7 of the most strange items ever appraised on Antiques Roadshow, continued. Over its decades-long run, Antiques Roadshow has become a treasure trove of the bizarre, the unexpected, and the downright eerie. While some items fetch jaw-dropping sums due to their historical significance, others leave experts and audiences baffled simply by existing. Here are even more of the strangest, most bewildering items ever to grace the show. 8. A haunted Victorian mourning portrait. One of the most chilling items ever brought to Antiques Roadshow was a Victorian-era mourning portrait. The guest explained that the painting had been passed down through their family, but no one knew the identity of the somber-looking woman in the frame. What made it truly unsettling, however, was the claim that the portrait was haunted. Expert Rupert Maas examined the piece and noted the intricate details of the black mourning attire, typical of the mid-19th century. He also pointed out that the eyes of the woman seemed to follow the viewer, a common optical illusion in portraiture, but one that added to the eerie aura. The guest revealed that family members had reported strange occurrences whenever the painting was displayed: doors opening by themselves, cold drafts in sealed rooms, and even the sound of weeping. Maas, though skeptical of the supernatural, admitted that the portrait was a rare and macabre piece of Victorian mourning art. Despite its unsettling reputation, the painting was valued at £8,000, £12,000, not just for its artistry but for its connection to Victorian death customs. 9. A mummified cat hidden in a wall. In a 2019 episode, a guest brought in what appeared to be a small, desiccated animal wrapped in cloth. The expert Mark Smith immediately recognized it as a mummified cat, but not an Egyptian relic. Instead, this was a British witch bottle or protective charm, commonly hidden in walls or under floorboards during the 17th and 18th centuries to ward off evil spirits. The guest explained that the cat had been discovered during a home renovation, concealed inside a hollowed-out wall. Smith explained that such finds were rare but not unheard of. Superstitious homeowners believed that trapping an animal, often a cat, in the walls would protect the house from witchcraft. Though grim, the mummified cat was a fascinating historical artifact. Smith valued it at £1,500, £2,000, though he joked that he wouldn't want it in his house. 10. A sword swallowed by a giant fish. One of the most bizarre stories in Antiques Roadshow history came from a guest who brought in a rusty 18th century naval cutlass. The sword itself wasn't the strangest part, it was how they found it. The guest explained that their grandfather had been a fisherman in the 1950s and once caught an enormous swordfish. When gutting the fish, he discovered the fully intact cutlass lodged in its stomach. Experts theorized that the sword had been lost at sea centuries earlier, only to be swallowed by the fish, where stomach acids and time corroded the blade. Arms and militaria expert Bill Harriman was astounded, calling it a one-in-a-million find. Though the sword was heavily damaged, its historical significance and the unbelievable story behind it earned it a valuation of £3,000, £5,000. 11. A vampire killing kit. In a particularly macabre episode, a guest brought in a 19th century wooden box filled with sinister-looking tools: a pistol, wooden stakes, a crucifix, vials of holy water, and a handwritten manual on how to destroy the undead. Expert Ronnie Archer Morgan confirmed that it was a vampire killing kit, a curiosity from the Victorian era when Gothic horror was at its peak. These kits were likely novelty items rather than genuine tools for vampire hunters, but they were still incredibly rare. The guest had purchased the kit at a flea market for just £50, unaware of its true nature. Archer Morgan estimated its value at £10,000, £15,000, making it one of the most valuable and strangest items ever appraised on the show. 12. A lock of Napoleon's hair. Human hair might not seem like a valuable collectible, but when it belongs to one of history's most infamous figures, it's a different story. A guest brought in a small, framed lock of Napoleon Bonaparte's hair, allegedly obtained by a British soldier after the emperor's death in 1821. Expert Hilary Kay verified the provenance, explaining that hair collecting was a common practice in the 19th century, especially for famous figures. Napoleon's hair, in particular, was highly sought after. The guest had inherited the lock from a distant relative and had no idea of its worth. Kay valued it at £6,000, £8,000, proving that even the smallest and strangest relics can carry immense historical weight.